Sri Sri Prembhakti Chandrika, Part 1. This verse is the third verse of the first psalm in Prembhakti Chandrika. He who gave me the gift of sight is my master in birth after birth. He has awakened spiritual knowledge within my heart. By this Prem-bhakti, all ignorance is destroyed. The Vedas sing of his character and activities. It reads like this: Divine knowledge, Sudha-kanika-vyakya. Though the spiritual nature of the jiva is that he is the eternal servant of Krishna, since immemorial time he has been forgetful of this nature, having been swallowed by the gaping mouth of Bahiranga Maya, the Lord's external illusory energy, thinking in terms of I and mine, concerning his material body and that which is related to it. He wanders from form to form according to his desires and mental impressions, suffering the terrible worldly miseries of birth, death, old age, and disease. Taking shelter of Sri Guru and performing Sri Krishna Bhajan is the only way to be freed from this misery. When the jiva forgets that he is the eternal servant of Sri Krishna, Maya binds him by the throat. Still, if he worships Krishna and serves his Guru, the net of Maya releases him and he obtains the Lord's lotus feet. Madhya Lila 22, 24, 25. After rescuing his disciple from the ocean of material life by giving him initiation and instructions, Sri Gurudev covers the disciple's materialistic eyes, which are incapable of seeing God directly, and opens his spiritual eyes, suitable for seeing the supreme truth, as well as causing him to taste the nectar of Krishna Bhajan. By designating the eyes, it is implied that the sadhaka's other senses also become spiritual eyes, and thus capable of Bhagavad Bhajan. The meaning is that the material body, mind, and senses are not capable of performing Sri Krishna Bhajan. When Sri Gurudev, overwhelmed by causeless compassion, gives him the Diksha mantras, the disciple exclaims, Trasva Jagannatha Guru Samsaravanina Dagdang Mam Kaladashtam Chatvam Aham Saranam Gata. Sri Guru, you are the embodiment of the Lord's compassion. Please rescue me from being so scorched by the fire of material life and swallowed by death. O Master, I seek your refuge. When the disciple receives Sri Gurudeva's shelter and dedicates his body, mind and soul, then by the touch of the nectareous power of God, known as Sri Gurudeva's mercy, just as the iron is turned to gold by contact with the philosopher's stone, the disciple is infused with Bhakti Shakti. His body and senses become spiritualized and fit for performing bhajan to the lotus feet of Sri Bhagwan. The sadhaka's body, mind and senses obtain that spirituality by assuming the same nature as that of Bhagavad Bhajan. And these transformations occurs solely by the mercy of Sri Guru. In this way, Sri Guru's mercy qualifies the disciple to worship the lotus feet of Bhagwan, delivers him at the Lord's lotus feet, and establishes his particular relationship with the Lord. Therefore, Sri Radhakund Mahanta says, cakṣu-dān dilo janme janme prabhu se divya de prokāśito. Sri Guru, the giver of love of Krishna and knowledge of Krishna, is my master, birth after birth, and I am his servant, birth after birth. Having freed me from materialistic vision, he has opened my spiritual eyes of devotion, smeared with the ointment of love, which are suitable for seeing God. If Sri Guru is satisfied, he deposits the power of his compassion within one's heart. And then the divine knowledge embodied in Krishna Diksha and his instructions is realized. This clearly indicates the master-servant relationship between Sri Guru and the disciple, as well as the permanent nature of that relationship. As the result of his past actions, the wandering jiva is born into various wombs, and in each birth he establishes connections with different mother and father, and with different friends and relatives. But the Guru-Shishya relationship is not like that. At a suitable time after many births, the very same Sri Guru becomes present before his disciple and causes him to drink the sweet ras of bhajan, blesses him with the gift of prema, and leads him into the kingdom of Leela for the direct seva of his beloved Lord. Ah, the mercy of Sri Guru! Nothing compares to this. The second part. Then Sri Radhakund Mahanta says, Prema-bhakti janme avidyā vināśa jāte vede janāra carito. We have said that it is as though the compassion of that boundless ocean of mercy, Sri Bhagavan, has condensed into the form of Sri Guru and appeared here for the benefit of all worldly souls. It is through Sri Gurudev, the avatar of Sri Bhagavan compassion, that we experience the Lord's mercy. Sri Gurudeva's heart is the jeweled throne of Sri Bhakti Maharani, the quintessence of the Hladini and Sambit Shaktis. Residing there, Bhakti Rani bestows her mercy upon the people of the world. With Sri Guru's compassion as a vehicle, her mercy is set in motion within the sadhaka, and he becomes blessed with the gift of prema. Because of this sambandha knowledge of relationship, gained by the mercy of Sri Guru, attachment for the body and subject matters not related to Krishna is lost, while a deep affection for Krishna arises. Prem-bhakti then appears within the sadhaka's heart, having flowed through the Guru Pranali like the current of the Mandakini. This mystical truth can also be known from the Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, chapter 2, 31 verse 31. Swine samutirya sadushtarang dhumang bhavarnam imang adabrasuridaha bhavat padam boruhana vanatrate nidaya yata sadhurahu bhavan bhavat padam boruha rupam navatraiva nidayo bhakti marga sampradayam pravarteti artaha param yataha. Sridhar Swami Tika, I think is Sridhar, says Swami Tika. While offering prayers to Sri Krishna within the womb of Devaki Devi, Brahma and other devas said, O self-manifested one, your compassion for your devotees is boundless. By the strength of that mercy, your devotees accept the shelter of your lotus feet, which are like sturdy boats that carry them across the troublesome ocean of material life. Moreover, by the system of Guru Parampara, these devotees give their mercy to the souls of this world by keeping that boat here in the form of the Bhakti Marga Sampradaya. From this it is clearly understood that without the shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Guru, there is no way to attain Prem-bhakti and cross the ocean of material life. The direct result of receiving shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Guru is the attainment of Prem and Bhakti at the lotus feet of Sri Bhagavan. A secondary result is the destruction of ignorance, the basis of materialistic life. Therefore, Sri Radhakund Maharaja say, avidyā vināśa jāte, the forgetful jiva's beginningless aversion to God has arisen due to Sri Bhagavan's external maya shakti of avidyā. This avidyā is of five kinds: tama, moha, maha, moha, tamisra, and ananda-tamisra. Here, tama indicates ignorance or lack of knowledge. If one extends his hand while in dense darkness, he is unable to see it or anything else around him. In the same way, if ignorance doesn't allow the jiva to ascertain his own nature, how in this state of darkness shall he see Sri Krishna? Moha means the state of being unable to discern what should and shouldn't be done. Mahamoha indicates desire for sensual enjoyment. Tamisra means the angry state arising when one's enjoyment is hindered. And Ananda-tamisra denotes being absorbed in guarding one's enjoyable things from possible loss. These are the functions of avidyā maya, and they are removed as a secondary fruit of Sri Guru's mercy. Those anarthas that disrupt the sadhaka's bhajan are also known to be avidyā. They are of four kinds: dushkritota, born of evil deeds; sukritota, born of good deeds; aparadota, born of offensive deeds; and bhaktyuta, born of following the path of bhakti. The anarthas born of wicked acts have been described as comprised of klesha, misery and distress. Klesha is of five kinds: avidyā, asmita, raga, dvesha, and abhinivesha. Here, avidyā means considering that which is impermanent to be eternal, that which is impure to be pure, misery to be happiness, and that which is not the self to be the self. Asmita means arrogance, pride, egotism. Raga means desire or attachment for happiness and comfort. Dvesha means the desire to remove all misery or its causes. Abhinivesha means fear of death. Some also consider pious deeds aimed at sense enjoyment as anarthas, and are thus included as miseries. By the mercy of Sri Guru, all these are easily destroyed. By his mercy, the sadhaka is also freed from the anarthas born of aparada, namely the 10 offenses against the holy name, as well as the anarthas born of following the path of bhakti, such as the desire for profit, adoration, and fame. This way, the sadhak obtains the treasure of pure bhajan. Vede gaya janara carito. In the Vedas and the religious texts that follow the Vedas, the importance of Sri Guru has been repeatedly described. The Vedas constantly sing of him by whose mercy Prem-bhakti is obtained and ignorance is thoroughly destroyed. Acharyavang Purusha Veda Chandogya Upanishad. Having taken shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Guru, a person devoted to the service of Sri Guru attains and remains situated in spiritual truth. Yasha deve para-bhaktir jata deve tata guru tashaite katita hayartha prakāśito mahatmana. For one who studies the Vedic literature with equal devotion to Sri Hari and Sri Guru, the core of that devotion causes the meaning of the Vedas to awaken within him. Svetashvatara Upanishad. Tat vidyārtam sa gurumiva vigacchit samitpani srodhyam brahmanishtam. The Mundaka Upanishad says, And in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the cream of all Vedanta, Sri Krishna has said, Acharyang Mahang Vijanija. Sri Guru shall be understood as my own form. In the Chandogya Upanishad of the Samaveda, one story concerning the importance of Sri Guru is found. Sent by Jabala, Satyakama Jabala approached Maharshi Gautama to receive spiritual knowledge. When he arrived, Gautam initiated him and engaged him in the work of cow protection and so on. Satisfied by Satyakama's devotion and service to his guru, Rishabha, the bull, Agni, the fire, Hamsa, the sun, and others blessed him with spiritual knowledge. Gautama, pleased by this, then also gave him instructions. When Apakaushala approached Satyakama for spiritual knowledge, Satyakama engaged him in tending the fires and fetching things. Pleased by Upakaushala's devotion to Sri Guru, Agni taught spiritual knowledge to him. Then Satyakam, being pleased, also enlightened him in the Veda, following Mahabharata. There are also many well-known stories about the Guru Seva and Guru Nishta of Upamanyu, Utanka, Udalaka, and others. Vedegaya Janara Charito. There is so much more to say about this commentary, and we will fall short if we don't extract from this the sense. Personally, I find it very, very interesting the fact that we should really, if interested, of course, some interest there, to understand what is the influence of spiritual teacher in our lives, and from what we should understand is also that about the whole darkness that surrounds our life. We approach someone who knows from a level that we don't know, that we have to understand first and accept that we really have no idea what's going on. That means when we are in darkness, when I'm in darkness and I think to myself, that takes a little bit of sincerity, and not just a little bit, quite a lot, to really fall down at your own self and say, really, I cannot see even my nose, what to speak of in darkness, right? So I think it is very clear from the comment here, Sudha-kanika-vyakya, that so amazingly is put, so simply, but it has so much, that is actually just giving us some clues on how we should go about this, so that we can trace the path. It's explained here that in such state of avidyā, we can start to revive our eternal nature, and there is, let's say, that is the influence that the external nature has on us, like it's explained in the text, Maya Shakti, or the Bahiranga, that has swollen us, so that from beginningless time we are found in such condition. So to wake up to such circumstances of life, we really need help that we, from the start, we get to realize we need help. And it's explained that to how by the compassionate, absolute form of compassion that is Sri Bhagavan, we get to have the darshan, or just by his looking at us or we looking at him, we are contemplating that endless favor. But what about going deeper into it, right? So amazingly is put in this commentary about the verse that Narottam Das Thakur is expressing himself so simply and so beautifully. For example, let's say, so in that conditioned state that the jivas are found, forgetful, there we can understand that is avidyā. There are 5 levels, which are tama, moha, mahamoha, tamisra, and ananda-tamisra. So let's begin of the avidyā. First kind of avidyā, tama, indicates the ignorance and the lack of knowledge. We can understand that when we are in avidyā tama, for example, when we are burned, there are very rare cases that yes, people even from the start, they are like prodigies, they know already some things. It's just on them. In that sense, the majority of us, this is just a weird case actually, but the majority of us are really into avidyā tama in the beginning of the birth conception itself. So avidyā tama, right? Ignorance and lack of knowledge, absolutely. That it is put there the example as in the darkness we cannot even see our hands, nothing. It's like that situation about the self, that who one is what, and the object of knowledge and knowledge is just absent. There's nothing like that in that state. That's the main thought in the Bahiranga, the full throat of the Maya Shakti. Then, as he's swallowing us, we can see that to the moha, there is the further stage as we're going down. We cannot discern what is to be done and what shouldn't be done. Anything is just the same. The babies, they don't even remember what was going on around them. It's just latent there. So that also moha, and it indicated by that quality of not knowing what it is to be done, what is not to be done. So we cannot even inquire, you see. So that's moha. So avidyā moha. Now avidyā mahamoha means that we want still, we would want something. The babies still cry because they don't get what they want. Just put it in the sense of a newborn. As we all are, we cannot, have anything in common, but let's put it there. We all have this in common. And here, of course, and so there is desire for enjoyment. And tamisra means that when the baby don't get, what he wants, or he's having some distress, when he doesn't get the food, for example, and then he starts to cry and he's angry, that is tamisra. Tam is misra. Tam is Sura. Now it's already all this, mixing already. Tama moha. Now it's mahat moha, right? Then tam is Sura. And further than that, it's called Anda Tamisra. Anda Tamisra, uh, I was giving one example before about Anda Tamisra. It's like you have a sweet, but you don't take it because you want it for after. After. It's better because if I eat it now, it will finish, you know. And this is kind of a something like for money also. Just keep it because um, maybe you will lose it. It's just a sense of grief also that is there in the enjoyable things. Yes, the money is enjoyable, or the sweet for the baby is enjoyable, or what else I can think of. It's like don't buy a computer that you need uh, because maybe it will get lost in the future or something like this. What if we're gonna do some plan and it's gonna rain? What if? It's a possibility always there, but in the sense of enjoyable things, uh, keeping them or not accessing to it just because of the possibility that they will not be there after. So just to keep them from what they are used for. This is called andatamisra. Um, all of this, all of this, which is just avidyā, the five phases of avidyā. And avidyā is just one of the anarthas that are there, or these are called the kleshas. There are five of them. What about the other ones? The other ones are also very, very big descriptions. Let's say this is just avidyā, right? Uh, Now, above avidyā, there is asmita, raga, dvesha, and abhinivesha. Right? Abhinivesha. So, avidyā means that, for example, all of that which is impermanent, like a physical birth, considering it to be eternal. So, to accept all that nature as your perennial, your absolute form is just um that kind of a video we're talking about. Majority of us all are into it in the beginning of our lives. And further than this avidyā, we can see this in the path of the sadhaka is that these are anarthas, it can be put in the sense of practitioner also. We can see it even that happening, every sense of a situation you can apply it to, it is there. And then we see above, or let's say from the point of avidyā, then asmita, or actually from the start of avidyā, we also don't have that all of this all the same time. No able to discriminate. We are not able to discriminate. What is beneficial to be done or what is not, or what is clean and what is not clean. That's why it's ignorance. When you see someone who doesn't even care, it's semblances of this avidyā. It can be put in any way. just to understand them. For example, and then avidyā, yes, this avidyā, to consider the impermanent things to be permanent. This birth present, when people suffer, not just of emotion, but some of the emotions that when people die, for example, are just because they ignore all of the rest. They just think that this is what they have and they have to keep it, just to keep it because it's what they have. It's not internal, and some people so much suffer, just because they don't have it anymore, which is impermanent, and there is not such awareness of in our, let's say, day-to-day lives. I'm not saying everyone. I'm just saying some people, the majority of people suffer about that just because things about it, this birth is eternal. It's not. But the eternal living being, the eternal living entity, that is what is eternal. Then is that suffering? It shouldn't give us suffering. It would be painful, right? The more attached now, the more moha is there, the more maha-moha is in our lives every day, the more we will suffer at that time, because all of that will just, the threats in the heart will just be very painful, and it will just represent sicknesses and all these things, or accidents and all that. So that's also very interesting, because and in the sense of our experience, everyone fears death, right? Everyone fears death. Everyone fears actually that moment. That's just ignorance, right? Avidyā. Now, yeah, what else can, after this asmita, right? Let's say that's all avidyā, really. Things that are not the self, like the body, to be the self. So the self itself is eternal and blissful. And if we are engrossed in the self, in what is really the permanent thing, then we will get enlightened. We will be always above avidyā in that sense, right? Some people so much attached have to develop so many ideas about this life here that is not permanent, and that is also just ignorance and suffering itself. So it's like taking a free ticket to the suffering room or something called hell or whatever. It's not supposed to be like this. Well, after the avidyā is supposed to be like that though. Asmita is that arrogance, pride, and egoism also burn from it, So I am or me, and this is all that is also called asmita. Then raga, desire or attachment for happiness and comfort. You should be happy, and you should be attached to your everyday work and money, and you know uh, just because you need to have a comfort life, and just because you need to be like this laying down, your bank account is growing, so just to remain there. Raga is there also. It's explained there to keep and keep and keep. It's vikarma, explained as Rupa Goswami puts it also. Then desha, desire to remove all misery or its causes. Desha. That's also, wow, it's this so deep. It's also an artha, like let's say someone who think is Superman, and they want to save uh, let's say the humanity because everyone should be happy, and he's just fighting so much against anyone, just like a bull, something like this, and it's just not doing the real inquiry. It's just like this. It's like it represents also this desire, disha, to of course everyone should be happy and all this, we desire everything, but we are just depending here, as the verse is saying, on the absolute compassion of Bhagavan, Swarup, Shakti, and all this coming in the form of a teacher who is also overflowing like a tsunami of compassion. So we should inquire there. We are just like that chakora bird who's just waiting for the rays of light from the moon to feed on. So that's like the proper mentality to assess, the that which is designated as yours, and we shouldn't even think about that we deserve more. So we should be aware of these things so that we can get the proper attitude to the life, actually, to everything that's coming in our way. It's like after Desha, now we see Abhinivesha. And Abhinivesha is the fear of death, as we spoke before. The fear of death. That why is it that we fear it, right? Because we are into avidyā, smita, raga, and desha. Then we shouldn't fear about that. I can recall that I think my topmost ignorant moment in life came with that thing overcome me when I understood that I had to leave at some point, and then I just felt some emptiness that I couldn't do that. It was just haunting. It's haunting. It's a feeling that all of this will haunt the consciousness of people. And only by the association, as the verse said, only by the association and understanding, only on the basis of our own self, uh, how this word, let's say, when we put ourselves fully conscious under that flow of karunya, of compassion, consciously, that um, this mentality about that we need to have proper anugatya, proper uh, attitude, the proper disposition about our lives and spiritual matters, then that it can come on overflow in us. Otherwise, it will never be forced, and it can never be forced in anybody. In any way you put it, if you do it like this, it will never go to the object. It will just get on a very big way till it gets some proper mentality to be properly assessing these topics that it can cause an effect, But then hmm, there are these five. Now we see these five levels of avidya. Klesha is called klesha, which is avidya, smita, raga, dvesha, and abhinivesha, right? Um, hmm. Then actually I wanted and I had the desire to delve into this because it's amazing how when we have all this clear that only by the grace of the devotee in whose heart Bhakti Devi is seated, that we can really assess and try to get a glimpse like the chakora bird to feel our expectatives of life, for example, to feel our mm, hearts with this Prem-bhakti of Bhajan Ras to Lord Krishna. This Bhagavan, um, he's saying here, Gurudev's heart is the jeweled throne. So in the Gurudev is just the perfect place where Bhakti Maharani Bhakti Maharani means Ladini and Sambit Shaktis who reside there. Bhakti Rani in the heart of the Guru. That's why he is this tsunami of Karuna, right? That overcomes just by coming in touch with him, just by one fraction of a second with his association, that she is bestowing this mercy, absolute mercy to everyone, right? So, as the Guru is a vehicle, the motion of Bhakti Maharani is set on in the sadhaka, and then as sadhakas we can all become blessed with the gift of prema, and this is what uh, Mahaprabhu and his associates are giving us in this Kali Yuga, right? So when we are aware of this, the knowledge of the relationships that are there, that we have, just by His mercy, by Guru's mercy, by His presence, by His absolute uh, realization that we can have really one glimpse of this mercy, and with little glimpse we get everything. It's just amazing. This has no comparison. There's nothing like this. You can compare and you can speak about so many remedies on this world. So many, for so many other things. People are trying really hard. But this is so simply put by Narottam Das Thakur, right? Then that Prem-bhakti can appear in the heart of a devotee. That this is coming, is explained like the Mandakini river, like the Mandakini river. The current of the Mandakini river that is present in a person who is coming in the Guru Pranali and Guru Parampara, that is explained in many other places in the Bhagavatam, and I'm just really a parrot for all this. But I think that um, it's wonderful to have this at hand. That's why I'm trying to make some record so that it can spread and spread. Today is Narasimha Chaturasi, and I hope that is reaching you also. Janita Radhe. Radhe Radhe Jape Ja Radhe Radhe Hare Ja Radhe Radhe Sarkar Jape Ja Radhe Radhe Sudha-kanika-vyakya wo prema padarat paave Sudha-kanika-vyakya wo prema padarat paave वक हो जाए मेरा पारा वृंदावन राम वृंदावन धाम पारा जपे जा राधे राधे रथ सब वेदन कुसा जपे जा राधे राधे चुरा नाम न हो तो रस राज विचार चुरा नाम न हो तो रस राज विचार वृंदावन धाम पारा जपे जा राधे राधे जो राधा नाम गावे वो जीवन व्यर्थ गवावे जो राधा नाम गावे जो जीवन व्यर्थ गवाए वह जीवन हुए बेकार
वृंदावन जपे जन राधे नाते वृंदावन धाम के लीला यही समझे मुझको लीला वृंदावन धाम की लीला नहीं जाने मुझको लीला वपुरी से मुनि गए हमारा जते राधे राधे वृंदावन 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 जपते